So while it's still a hot topic, continuing the conversation from one of my last videos, is Pikmin 4 retconning or rebooting or multiversing the Pikmin series? I heard from a lot of you Pikmin fans, and there are many opinions that all of you feel very strongly about. But there's one argument, or one thing I have noticed, a lot of people said this, there's actually a lot of people saying this, and that's that the Pikmin story doesn't matter. I've seen the debate go back and forth. I know a lot of you guys don't really care too much about the story, you just want to play Pikmin. I totally get it. And there's like the other side of people who are like, no, I really don't want the games to be retconned or whatever it may be. So there's a little bit of clashing. I've seen some debates here and there, and I totally get it. But I've had this conversation with a couple of you, and I've again just keep seeing it online. It's just something I've been planning on making a video about for quite some time now. Pikmin, does the story matter, or is it just about the gameplay? The Pikmin story does not really matter. I personally, in my opinion, I strongly disagree with this. Over the past 20 plus years of Pikmin games, the story hasn't developed much, and every installment tends to be an updated quest. We got the ship parts, the treasure, fruit, now we're gonna start working on Sparklium. And while we do have some story with dialogue and cutscenes, it's not really much. So I actually can understand to a point why people would say the story doesn't really matter, or it's not so important that we should be upset over Pikmin 4 possibly, very possibly, retconning or rebooting the series. And then in the mainline 3 Pikmin games, here's a quick recap of the overall story. So for some of you new fans, this will catch you up. For someone who maybe want to refresh, here it is. In Pikmin 1, Olimar crash lands on an uncharted planet filled with oxygen, which is toxic to him. He needs to repair his ship or his life support system fails in 30 days. He discovers the Pikmin and befriends them. Olimar manages to find all his ship pieces in time thanks to the help of the Pikmin, and he's managed to head back home. Pikmin 2 Olimar returns to his planet Hecate, where his boss, the president, and his co-worker Louie meet him to deliver the bad news. Their company went under because during a delivery of golden Pikmin carrots, they got robbed by a space bunny. Except, spoiler alert, it wasn't a space bunny. I'll tell you that much. Olimar's ship, the SS Dolphin, was sold as well, right after we just repaired it. Olimar brought a souvenir back from the planet, which ended up being very valuable. Olimar and Louie are ordered to return to the planet and get enough treasure to pay off the debt. After succeeding, Olimar returns but forgets Louie behind. President and Olimar return to the planet in Pikmin 2's post-game to get rich off the treasure and get Louie back. The final boss battle contains Louie. After rescuing Louie, the game ends. In Pikmin 3, the Kopai are a race that expended their resources. Alf, Brittany, and Charlie must find food so that their planet doesn't starve to death. They find our planet that they labeled PNF 404. They crash land and lose the cosmic drive key, which is necessary to travel with the SS Drake. They adapt to the planet using Olimar's notes that he left behind. They collect fruit while searching for Olimar and find Louie instead, who then in turn steals their food. They manage to find Captain Olimar, but he is taken by a plasma wraith. After defeating the wraith, Olimar and Louie are saved by the Kopaites and return home. The end. With Pikmin 4 possibly rebooting the series, we will either lose all of this story, or it will just be retold, or it will remain canon, with Pikmin 4 just being more of a Pikmin 1.5 and just making sure that Pikmin 1 keeps a better continuity for 2 and 3. Again, this is all just speculation. There is no definite for sure evidence. It's not guaranteed. We don't know. It doesn't matter if people say there's leaks. We officially do not know yet. But going back to the topic at hand, does the story matter? Well, here's the big issue. I just gave you a brief explanation of the story, but a lot of the story from Pikmin comes in the form of world building and lore. Just to name a few. In Pikmin 1, Olimar writes a diary of how he misses his wife and his kids. He talks about the anxiety of dying on the planet and how he feels terrible when a Pikmin dies under his carelessness. Or how Louie was captured by the final boss, the Titan Dweevil. But in the log notes, it heavily implies that Louie was actually possibly controlling the creature and not the other way around. In Pikmin 3, it continues the mystery by stating how Louie's behavior is really strange. Pikmin 2, there was a very mysterious creature known as the Water Wraith, which was like no other enemy in Pikmin. This continues in Pikmin 3 when the Plasma Wraith comes after Olimar. The thing is though, fans, like the Chad himself, Daz Reviews, has mentioned the theory about Japanese folklore of the Umibozu, which in Pikmin has been heavily speculated to be the Wraiths. It would explain a lot of the crash landings and why the Plasma Wraith was obsessed with taking Olimar as its treasure. These are just a few of what is happening in the Pikmin story, but it's not told in cutscenes. A lot of this you have to read in the Piclopedia or in the treasures. Or when I was talking about Olimar writing in his diary about how he misses his wife and kids, that's not really anything where it's some mind-blowing story thing or even mind-blowing lore, but we grew up playing the first Pikmin game and seeing Olimar's journey. To have that possibly changed or rewritten, it's not a fun thing to think about. Fans have been following the storyline for so long. It doesn't have to be a record-breaking Infinity War Endgame Avengers story. The world and characters have been built so rich. To just throw it all away or retell some of it would only naturally leave some fans feeling unhappy about it. It's not fair to tell them, hey, the story doesn't matter, be grateful you have Pikmin 4. Multiple things can be true at once. You can be so happy for Pikmin 4, but also strongly hope it's not a reboot, or a retelling, or a retcon, or a multiverse. Pikmin 4 already looks to have a good, strong story, and I personally believe whether it retcons or reboots or not, it's going to be a fantastic game with a great story. But it is also okay for fans to maybe feel a little uneasy at the thought of all of this story and lore that we had built up all these years to possibly be changed or forgotten. Thank you guys for watching. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And I'll catch you on the next Pikmin video. Peace.